It's time to review Batman Begins for the PlayStation 2. Batman Begins is a tie-in game developed by EA based on the 2005 movie of the same name that revived the Batman film franchise after 1997's cathartically craptastic cinematic calamity known as Batman and Robin. While Begins the movie did well enough, and I find it to be pretty enjoyable myself despite my gigantic hatred of dark, brooding superhero movies, how well does Begins the game, I know that doesn't sound right, but whatever, how well does the game replicate the quality of the movie? Well, let's get to the Batmobile and find out! Like the movie of the same name, Batman Begins the game chronicles the origin story of the Dark Knight himself. Ever since the fatal mugging of his parents as a child, Bruce Wayne has traveled around the world in order to find a way to avenge them and bring justice to the crime-ridden city of Gotham. Over 10 years later, he returns to Gotham and terrorizes criminals of all sorts as the Caped Crusader, all the while slowly uncovering a conspiracy that may very well threaten to tear the city apart with a single element: fear. Batman Begins is a third-person stealth action game where the objective is generally to get to the end of each level in order to accomplish a certain goal, such as tracking down a certain criminal, finding a special device, and so on. You jump and double jump with the X button, as well as glide while holding it in the air, go into stealth mode for quieter movements by clicking on the left analog stick, use circle to interact with the general world around you, throw your batarang at highlighted objects with R1, and with the L1 button you can use the gadget equipped from a menu accessed by pressing up or down on the D-pad. However, that's just for simply exploring the city of Gotham. When you get into combat against criminals, the controls change up to suit this. You punch and kick enemies with square and triangle respectively, lock onto them by pressing L2, use circle for certain special moves that become accessible at certain moments, block attacks by holding the R2 button, and can use X in conjunction with the left analog stick to move quickly around your enemies in order to dodge their attacks. While navigating through the rooftops and industrial complexes of Gotham, there's a number of things to take note of. First of all, in order to defeat large groups of enemies, you'll need to use the element of fear. In other words, damaging part of their surroundings, taking out subordinates and the like while remaining incognito and unseen in order to get them to lower their defenses out of fright before you can take them on, otherwise you'll be gunned down within seconds. As well as this, you'll find a number of pickups that will help you out in the more troublesome fights, such as smoke grenades, high-frequency transporters that send a wave of bats onto the criminal in question, among other things. And finally, in certain levels of the game, you'll be able to take control of the Batmobile in high-speed driving set pieces where you have to escape from the ever-persistent police force, track down a supply that's said to be dangerous, and more. As regards to the problem the game has, the first flaw that often crops out throughout the game is that certain aspects of the gameplay feel inconsistent, especially during the stealth bits. For instance, you can take a hell of a beating from large groups of enemies, no problem, but it only takes about 5 or 6 bullets to permanently end the legend of the Dark Knight, even despite the fact that the bat suit in this continuity is supposedly made of Kevlar, aka bulletproof material. As well as this, you can make all the noise you like by blowing up certain pieces of the environment and punching enemies, but heaven help you if you decide to sneak around enemies by simply walking slowly instead of using stealth mode. Honestly, it may not sound like much, but believe me, when it happens in the game, it's very distracting and off-putting to have logic go up and down on a regular basis. As well as this, the combat can get pretty repetitive due to a small number of combos and special attacks available, not to mention that every enemy can easily be fought in the exact same way without any problems whatsoever. And yes, this does also include the final boss, which has the very unfortunate side effect of making the finale feel very anticlimactic and not that much different from any other level in the game. In fact, when I got to this point, I actually asked out loud, wait, we're at the end already? What the hell? Still, just because the ending was not as climactic as it should have been, it doesn't mean the rest of the game was terrible. First off, the presentation side of things was actually very well done. While they have a dull color palette, the game's graphics are actually pretty good, with some nicely designed environments, decent particle effects, and some especially well rendered and animated faces. It's strange to acknowledge faces, I know, but they do look good enough that I think they warrant mentioning. The voice acting delivered by the film's actors and actresses, such as Christian Bale, Morgan Freeman, Liam Neeson, and so on, reprising their roles along with a number of other actors, are also quite good, giving a generally good delivery to the game's dialogue and adding to the atmosphere of the movie. Though I still regard Christian Bale's Batman to be the worst rendition of the Caped Crusader's voice I've seen so far. As for the gameplay itself, it's quite good. Despite the inconsistent nature of the stealth and repetitive combat, the gameplay of Batman Begins is very satisfying, quietly sneaking past packs of criminals in order to find a strategic advantage, skillfully making your way across the rooftops of Gotham, effortlessly taking out enemies within seconds, and so on, add a satisfying edge to playing as the Dark Knight himself, even though the detective aspect gets totally ignored. However, the best part of the game are the two Batmobile missions. Reminiscent of Critter and his Burnout series, the Batmobile levels are very fun to play through, and so damn awesome. They move at a very quick, exciting pace. It's really fun to take out loads of criminals or cops by either ramming them or destroying them with the Batmobile's many gadgets and weapons, and they're generally quite well made. Honestly, I kinda wish that the whole game was centered around these missions, or at least they had more of them, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Batman Begins is a good game with pretty good graphics, well done voice acting, satisfying stealth gameplay and combat, and really bloody awesome Batmobile missions. However, it's let down by inconsistencies in the gameplay, an anticlimactic finale, and quite repetitive combat. If you're looking to see if a genuinely good Batman game outside of the Arkham series actually exists, then look no further than Batman Begins for the PlayStation 2. This game gets a rating of pretty good, pretty much what it says on the tin. Nothing spectacular, but still fun to play nonetheless. I'm Father Dugan 8000, and I hope you enjoyed watching this review. Until we meet again, have a great day, all.